Be afraid.
Be very afraid.
Fuss and grumble, fuss and grumble, fuss and grumble. Don't worry about nothing, my friend. Fuss and grumble, 'cause all's well that's well in the end. Fuss and grumble, you grumble and you're on your own. Laughing, the world laughs with you. Crying, you'll cry all alone. Laughing, the world laughs with you. Mustn't grumble, mustn't grumble, mustn't grumble. Don't worry about nothing, my friend. Mustn't grumble, 'cause all's well that's well in the end. Mustn't grumble, you grumble and you're on your own. Laughing, the world laughs with you. Crying, you'll cry all alone. Laughing, the world laughs with you. Mustn't grumble, mustn't grumble. Laughing, the world laughs with you. Mustn't grumble, mustn't grumble.
Hello and welcome to Blackmans Bay Studios. My name's Mick and this is my old mate Keith, and this programme is all about something that's very dear to our heart, isn't it, Keith?
It really is, it really is. We've called this one Grumpy Old Men. Now, a lot of people may think that this is a blatant rip-off of the BBC show. No, you know. I mean, they're going to come to that conclusion, aren't they?
Well, it is really, isn't it?
Yeah, but I don't give a stuff, do you?
No, not
You know,
really, no.
They've been ripping people off for years,
yeah.
The only difference in this this video from our last ones is that we will be having guest appearances from people from TV, radio,
Yeah.
the theatre.
Yeah.
We've got people there, and sport, of course.
Sport?
And, yeah, sport.
Who's sport? Who's...
Well, you and me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. South East England dart champions, Mick. Not once, but twice.
Well, I'm too modest to mention
What
it.
can we say? How many trophies did you win at darts, Mick?
I don't know.
Too numerous to mention, like myself.
Yes.
So we've got some guests coming along, and they'll be flitting in and out of the video as we go along, and we'll let's see how it goes. And I think hopefully you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
People might not agree with us, Mick, would they?
No, these opinions are ours, remember?
Yeah, and I think that at the end of the day, everybody's got their own opinions. What everybody else says, well, you know, fuck them. You know, isn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. So if you don't agree, just turn it off. I expect you're like me. You work hard, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, relatively. Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
You enjoy your leisure time,
Yeah.
and you come home of a night. You sit down to have a nice leisurely evening. What's your number one bugbear?
TV adverts.
I knew you was going to say that. I knew you was going to say that. Is it the most hideous system anywhere on the planet?
Well, as a relatively newcomer to Tasmania from the UK, I've been quite shocked by the number of adverts on the TV, and it's along the lines of the United States. For the benefit of people who don't live in Australia, a normal half-hour programme will have at least 3 ad breaks, and it drives you to despair.
It does. Now the reason Mick's mentioned that about Australia is because this DVD is going global, isn't it?
Oh, of course, yeah.
It's going all around the planet, so we just had to drop that bit in. But with TV ads, Mick, I blame Tim Franklin.
Yes. Now Tim Franklin, he promotes adverts on TV. So he'll have one advert, and within that advert, there might be another 4 adverts. And it drives you up the wall. That fucking Tim Franklin has got a lot to answer for.
And the number, they put the same adverts on time and time and time and time again.
Yes.
To a point where I've seen that many times, I wouldn't buy a product on the principle of the fact.
I think this is where TV companies go wrong, because I'm like-minded. the more adverts I see, the less chance there is of me buying that product. Especially when they advertise.
Unless it's beer.
They don't need to advertise beer. But it's not unusual to see the same advert 2-3 times. It's not unusual at all. And
2 or 3 times?
Yes.
You mean in a session?
In an ad break.
In an ad break, yeah.
And you sometimes get the same ad every single ad break for days on end.
Months.
Yeah.
Yeah, days and months on end. You know, I mean, I've got pay TV. I'm obviously a bit fortunate. I've got pay TV. Discovery Channel ran the same ad for nearly 4 months at every break. Every break.
Commercials bug me so much that I never watch them. If there's a program on that night that I want to see on commercial television, what I do is I just record it on the hard drive, and then the next day I'll just, or the day after or whatever, when I watch it I just zip through the commercials like that. So they may as well not bother advertising as far as I'm concerned, because I never see them. I mean, they're just a blur as I zip through them onto the next part of the program.
I noticed a couple of our counterparts like Eric and so forth have had a bit of a lash about commercials. He doesn't watch them, of course, but if you do see some of the commercials, it is tear your hair out, Terry. Well, you must have watched a few ads.
I did a little experiment the other night, and I actually timed the length of commercials, complaining about the length of commercials, and I timed the length of commercials over a space of an hour on a program on prime time on commercial television. I won't mention which particular channel, but it averaged out that there was 7 minutes of program to about 4 minutes of commercial, and in one instance it actually got to the stage where there was 3 minutes 98 seconds of program and 4 minutes and 2 seconds of commercial. So the commercial content was actually more than the actual program content. Now that is, to me, absolutely ridiculous.
TV programs never start on time. They're advertised for 9:30 and they start at 20 to 10. I set my DVD thing to record a program, and what happens, it doesn't even come on at all. And if you're a rugby league follower like me, and the only way you're going to get to see it in Tassie is occasionally about midnight, and they don't put the bloody thing on until 2 o'clock in the morning, you've missed it anyway.
But the other thing is about the TV scheduling. They take off shows, they put repeats in without telling anyone.
Well, see, the problem we've got in Australia is that the TV companies, they don't give a fuck about the viewer. All they care about is advertising, so they can get their revenue in. So they don't care that you might be interested in a series. They'll just take it off. If it's not paying the way, it goes. Or it goes to the graveyard slot about 11:30 at night, doesn't it?
It does. They'll run a series, and then 4 or 5 in, they'll put a repeat in, and you're watching, you think, I've seen this one. They don't tell anybody beforehand that it's actually been a repeat, would they?
No.
One of the things I love to do, like all men, I suppose, is to channel hop. You can't even do that now, because they all put their ads on at exactly the same time. To the second, ads come on all over the place, so you can't flick from one channel to the other.
There's only one program that I know of that comes on dead on time and finishes dead on time, and that is the 6 o'clock news, and that's right across the bottom, isn't it?
That's exactly right. Exactly right.
Yeah.
I've developed a really healthy dislike of television. What a bloody waste. Here is a medium that could be used to educate, to enlighten, to entertain, to inform the population. Here's a medium that could really, really help us develop our culture as Australians. And what do? They give it into the hands of big business who are only interested in the bottom line. So bottom line means they can't spend any money on decent programming. They import crap from overseas, Yanks and Poms in particular, mainly Yanks, or they produce their local content is the lowest common denominator crud. I mean, Big Brother, for heaven's sake, give us a break.
Now, my absolute favourite one to hate is 20 to 1 something. They're absolutely desperate. They've got to find some way to give Bert Newton a job, so they think up 20 to 1 something. I reckon they should have one on the 20 to 1 best bullshit artists, and Bert would be the top of the list.
Very occasionally if I'm sort of eating dinner and the TV's on and Eddie Maguire comes on, and then that hot seat millionaire, And every single night when they get up to the final prize, you know, it's $50,000, $20,000, he always has to say, what would $20,000 mean to you? And I'm just waiting for the day that somebody says, 3 months supply of cocaine. We have this bad editing on the commercials, and they'll finish the commercial and the program will start, and it will start halfway into the sentence of somebody that's speaking. So the commercial will finish in a by Alma or whatever it is, and then there's somebody saying, and of course then and you've missed, you know, what they're saying beforehand. That's another thing that, you know, really gets up my goat.
You know, how many times you look at these people and you know they're lying and they get away with it.
Yeah, they do.
Prime example, cleaning products.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, you get these people, buy this shower gel stuff, you just get hold of it, whoop, like that, and they go like that, and all the mould and everything's off it in big one, you know. They never get pulled over the culture advertising standards, do they? Never.
And it does not happen, because I've had that problem in the bathroom, and you cannot get it off.
No.
And to say that will just clean it off with a wipe is a blatant lie.
Blatant lie.
Yeah.
I'm a dentist. Use this toothpaste and your teeth will be white in 3 days. Fuck off! Don't they?
Yeah, yeah.
You know he can't be a dentist because to be on an ad anyway, he's got to be a member of Equity, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So old Tim's got a lot to answer for, doesn't he?
He fucking is.
You know.
No doubt about it.
And the funny thing is, we've got him on the show, so he's obviously going to have a contrary view, isn't he?
And when I see him, I'm going to fucking tell him all.
What gives me the shits are the people preceding me that knock commercial television and radio. In fact, they knock commercials full stop. Well, let me tell you, at Radar Promotions Australia, we are fucking not a registered charity. Have you got that? And I am, at 52 years of age, extremely mature. Isn't that right? Yes. You can see what I mean by where I'm going with this. So people like Jack Reinberger, Cook and more. I'll leave Bob Cook out of this because people often say, where did I get the name Radar? Bob gave me the name Radar in 1978. That's true. So no more tagging, bagging and slagging the shit out of commercial television because I'll be broke. Has everybody got that now? Thank you very much. Thanks for coming. Have a nice day. Let's go out for dinner now. We're going.
These people, when they advertise on the telly that all their stuff is fresh,
Yeah.
they should be taken to the trade, get under the Trade Description Act, shouldn't they?
Well, it goes right through the food industry, and the biggest culprits are like fast food outlets with their giant burgers like this, and when they come up, they're all flat and unappetising, aren't they? That's false advertising if ever I've seen it.
Exactly. Well, and you've also got the other side of false advertising. When they show you somebody on there that's pouring out custard on an apple pie, it looks beautiful, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Beautiful.
What people don't realise, they're actually pouring out paint.
Yeah.
They're pouring out yellow paint.
I've read that. Yeah.
And they get away with it.
Yeah.
You see these beautiful turkeys at Christmas. They ain't cooked them in an oven, because when you cook an oven in a turkey in an oven, mate, it shrinks down and it's all different shape. What they do, they get one of those heat guns and they go round it like that, brown it all over.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, this is a beautiful turkey, this, isn't it?
Well, why are they allowed to get away with it?
Don't know, but they do.
Yeah, they do. They do, yeah.
You know? It's it's beggars belief, doesn't it? Beggars belief, but we all have to put up with it.
We certainly do. We don't. Why should we have to put up with it?
True.
You know, one of the ads that really infuriates me and you want to tear your hair out is that one where you see Annie McDowell, right? Nothing against Annie McDowell, but she comes and she hasn't got a bloody blemish on her face. I mean, it's all airbrushed anyway, but not a crease anywhere, and it's like a whole face and forehead back to her ass.
The Croydon facelift.
The Croydon facelift, that's what it's called. But they have all these fancy chemical names like Pro-Elastin, blah, 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 blah. You know, the new product. I'm worth it. Well, what? I mean, I could do with it. But it's so infuriating and talk down to women, you know, like unless you look like this, you're a bag.
Well, the thing is, of course, you've got your Ponds Institute, an institute where obviously people in white coats find out 7 different signs of ageing. 7? I thought there'd be only 2, like you're old.
And you're dead.
And your skin's all saggy. But now there are 7 different ways of ageing. And And I think, God, I've got at least 3 of them, I'm buggered. Look, I know we're getting old, but have you seen the ads for bloody life insurance and funeral plans?
Oh, yes.
Bugger me green. I must have seen the same ad about 4 times in one news bulletin once, and I thought, well, I'm not going to buy anything off you. Before, when I was about 12, when I first started work with you, I remember the AMP man rang me up and said, we'd like to take out life insurance.
Yeah.
Well, you're 21. You thought, okay, if I get married, I'll have, someone will have, $50 for a funeral. And that's fine, but then they went off life insurance. They thought that was old hat. Now they're back onto it. Why? Why are they back onto life insurance?
There's a big dollar in it. Because it threatens you. It's like, would you like to leave your family like this?
You're not going to know!
Shot at third world country kids groveling in garbage tins. You need life insurance or funeral benefits or whatever it is, and you're sitting there with a pallet. Me? Yes, me.
Bob, these people are from 25 cents a day, and you feel like a cheapskate. My family's not worth 25 cents a day.
Yeah, but that's for a kid that's newly born, about 3 days old.
Exactly, and if you ring now, you don't need a medical test. And there's people, and you don't have to have a blood test. Some bloke coming on with there.
So get one of them near blood test things. Moronic.
Another thing that pisses me off is television advertising, because they don't necessarily give the consumers the whole story. They're not necessarily being dishonest or untruthful, they just don't sort of give the whole story. There's one car ad at the moment that says this is the best value you get for under $35,000, but you go in and you find out that the car is worth, or they're selling it for $34,999.99. Sure, it's under $35,000, and they've claimed it's the best value motor car, but worked out as a percentage, and you find out that you're saving 0.000024%. You're a fucking generous lot, aren't you?
But apart from that, have you noticed on TV, every 5 minutes there's an update on a new piece of exercise machinery that gives you abs within 2 weeks or your money back? Well, I've got to tell you, about 12 months ago I tried this. So I got one, didn't use it, it didn't matter. I sent it back, they sent me a letter saying, could you send us a 5-page letter please, a 5-page letter to say why it didn't work, and could you also put it all in a box and pay for it to send it back. What a lovely bunch of people. Pricks.
Every week they're bringing out a different one. One you get this week, it does your abs, and next week they bring out another one. I remember one that, those ones you used to stretch them like this, they were a spring-loaded thing. Well, a mate of mine was stretching one on the floor in the nude, and he had one on his foot and the other one in his hand, and he's pulling it back and the bloody spring broke. And you know what it caught around? It was painful, I can tell you.
What I love are the corporate ads.
Oh yeah. You get the caring Australian, the big Australian.
No, the banks. Because the banks are like shit. People hate banks. So, it's true. People hate banks. So now what do the banks do? They're warm and friendly. They've got all these bank managers, like in the backyard you can see a Hills hoist or something, and a bank manager going, we really care about people. It's what we are about. Please come and see how we can care for you. And then there's the other corporate image, like Chevron Oil. We are a people business. There's bloody oil and dead animals lying everywhere, and those are back. And they go on about they care for people. If you lined up 20 barrels of oil on one side and 500 people on the other, guess what they'd pick?
The other thing on television advertising, these stores that advertise 3 years interest-free. I mean, the reality is, you sit down and do the maths. A $1,000 bed you pay cash for, $1,000. They'll give it to you for $18 a week over 3 years. $2,800. You're getting screwed.
They're advertising this, hey, it's Saturday. On a Wednesday? Hey, it's Saturday on a Wednesday. I mean, it's a dumb show to start off with. I don't know why they ever decided to bring it back. But fancy having hey, why don't you just call it hey, it's Wednesday? It's a new show. And the other thing is, you can be watching a program or a movie, something like that on television, and you look and you say, I didn't know that guy, I've seen him somewhere before, I'll check his name on the end credits when it comes up. And then the movie finishes, and immediately, just as soon as the credits start to come up, some crappy promotion comes on for some ridiculous reality show or something, the credits get squeezed out of the bottom. They're impossible to read. Well, you've got sort of, you know, Daryl Summers or somebody yapping on about hey it's Saturday, and you can't read the credits. You can't find out who's who the name of the guy you're looking for. You know, that really bugs me.
There is one thing that pisses me off, and you've got these animated TV presenters, and particularly Channel 9 and Channel 7 have got these idiots that have come on. They might be doing woodwork on a sort of home show or whatever it is, or gardening, and they talk to you like I'm a 10-year-old, you know.
They have to shout at the camera, and they've got these insufferable smiles. Some of them, I don't know how they can talk and smile at the same time, because they've got such a broad smile, showing all their teeth. I don't know how they can talk. It's quite an art, isn't it?
And let's go over here and cut these pieces of wood with their eyes bright open like that. You feel like getting hold of them and punching them, don't you?
Do you think they're given something before they go on air?
Ecstasy, I reckon. There's something like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, something's got to make them hyper, because they are hyper, aren't they?
I mean, Steve Irwin was like that. I mean, he was, you know...
He was schoolboyish.
He was you know, he was like that. And now, but it's like rife everywhere you go, and it's all they've got to be, ooh, like that, you know. I'd give them fucking all.
Now, another bugbear of mine, and this goes back decades. I think it actually started with a TV show called Bonanza. I think everybody remembers that. Now, in Bonanza, they had a ranch called the Ponderosa. This ranch is about the size of Texas. Okay, and the whole ranch is run by an old guy, his 3 sons, and a Chinese cook. And every week, a guest star ranch hand would come on. But they never did any work, or they never rounded up any cattle. This guest star ranch hand always got into some sort of trouble, and the 3 sons had to get him out of the trouble. So I've never seen anybody actually go out and round up cattle or actually do any sort of cowboy work. Now that started it, and then it went on to cruise ships and hotels and casinos. Do you remember the Love Boat? Yeah, the Love Boat was run by a captain, a purser, 1 bartender. There's supposed to be thousands of people on board. Yeah, an entertainment officer, a young girl, and a doctor. They had a doctor. Now these people ran this whole ship, but they didn't actually run the ship, because the captain was always solving the love problems of the guest stars that came on. So he was always sitting in cabins giving advice to people and that. I don't know who was on the bridge. I mean, I never saw anybody else on the bridge apart from the captain. You know, so 5 people run the Love Boat, so that was it. And then that went on with that show Hotel. You get it even today with that show called Las Vegas. There's this huge casino. Okay, now it's run by the boss of the casino, 3 or 4 girls that are sort of croupiers come hostesses. They've got 1 valet parking guy, and I don't know who parks the cars, because he's always helping them solve some scam or some con man that's on the loose and everything. And he always leaves his job to go and do, help the bosses out. And nobody parks the cars. And they've only got 1 person to do it anyway. So that, just insanity. And they expect you to swallow this stuff.
Of course, you've got another little pet hate on the telly, haven't you, Mick?
Yes, I have. I make a point of never watching any programme on TV with the word celebrity in the title.
Well, I've watched some of them, obviously, occasionally. And you've got this celebrity, whatever it is, Big Brother, celebrity ice skating or dancing. And I look at them and think, who is it? Yeah. I've never heard of them. No. You know, to me, a celebrity, the name sort of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it?
Though they are really the bottom of the barrel when it comes to celebrity, in the world of celebrity, aren't they? And it's their last throw of the dice, really. I mean, if they can't make it on them programs, they can't make it anywhere, can they?
No, but this is the way that the world is these days. But everybody, when they leave school, their number 1 aim, you can see it in people, is to be a celebrity. And you've got to blame shows like Australian Idol. I mean, not just in Australia, but I'm talking worldwide now.
It's the same worldwide.
Yeah, worldwide, whether it's the X Factor or whatever it is, and everybody wants to be an instant hit and a star. What they don't realise is that the people running these shows want them to be a star and a hit, but only for 15 minutes, and then push aside and get somebody else in.
But if you ever see anything with celebrity in it, and they're asked a question, for instance, they know that they know the answer. I mean, if someone said to them, "What's 2 + 2?" they wouldn't just go, "Oh, it's 4." They'd go, "Oh."
They've got to get in the character.
"Oh, I know the answer." "Oh, don't tell me. Don't tell me. 5 seconds. Don't tell me. 4."
The other thing that I hate, we were talking earlier on a little bit about celebrity, and then are these so-called celebrities, these aging has-been stars that keep on appearing on things like Celebrity Rehab or Dancing with the Stars, desperately clutching at the last vestiges of fame, and they're usually coupled by younger ones that have never ever made it anywhere. They're never ever going to make it. And so you're stuck with all these never have been and has-beens, and they call them celebrities. The other thing that bugs me are these radio and TV hosts that have these self-important and ridiculous intros and sign-offs. Do you remember Don Lane with the sort of "I love your faces," and then you had Darren Hinch with the sort of "That's life," and the one that really used to get me was John Laws, with a sort of this solemn voice to come on and say, "Hello world, this is John Laws," and you can imagine some sort of yak farmer in Upper Mongolia sort of running into his thatched hut and saying, "Magda, turn on the radio, it's John Laws," so "Hello world." I mean, the whole world is supposed to be, trembling at the thought that John Laws is about to speak, and then he will sign off by saying something like, "Keeping the dream alive." Whose dream? Whose fucking dream? I mean, his dream is certainly not my dream.
Yeah, like we've said, there's no people don't want to do apprenticeships anymore. Certainly in acting and singing, where people used to tread the boards for years, and you would end up with some of the great actors of the world have been that they were around in stage and learnt their craft over many years. Now, if they're not got their name in headlights and get Oscar nominations within their first couple of years, they're not a failure. They're a failure. I get wound up over other things on the telly. Pronunciation.
Yes, it's a bit of a strange one here in Australia in general, and the one that makes me laugh the most is on the SBS channel, the football on there, where the anchorman is named Les Murray, and he speaks. What nationality is he? Is he English?
No, I think he's actually Hungarian. He changed his name. You'd think like somebody like Tibor Zakach or something like that, wouldn't you? No,
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, he speaks very clear, precise English, but he makes the big mistake of trying to pronounce football teams, players, how they say it in their own language, bearing in mind that his first language is English. But he makes them lovely. It's hilarious. And the one that made me laugh, he said, instead of saying Osaka, which is the way English-speaking people would say it, he goes, Osaka. And he says things like Madrid.
That's right, yeah.
The best one is, well, I can't even say it. Keith Dolan's got it off to a great one. Go on, Dave, say it.
He said one day on there, and today we've got, say, Real Madrid against Real Zaragoza. And he's got to put the accent on it. Why? It's Real Zaragoza, isn't it? He's got,
You expect them to get it right on the news, on TV, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, they come up with some howlers, don't they?
They make words up as they go along.
They seem to,
Yeah.
because they get some basic pronunciations wrong, especially place names again. Don't they?
Yeah. I mean, the classic one was they come on the news one day and said something like Nicosia, and I thought Nicosia. And then a map came up, and of course it was a map of Cyprus. And I thought, Nicosia, Nicosia, Nicosia. Where did they get?
What about that drug centre of the world, Bogota?
Bogota, yeah. And you see a map come up, Colombia, and there it is, Bogota, and you think, where did they get these people? Where did they get it from?
Yeah, they must make it up. I mean, all they've got to do is ask what is the correct pronunciation.
Mind you have the same here.
Yeah?
But yeah, it's the same here. Droughty Point,
Yeah.
Droughty Point, Droopy Point, you think to yourself, hang on a minute, what is it? But they all do it.
And maroon, of course.
Well, say that,
For the benefit of people who don't live in Australia, maroon equals maroon, apparently.
I don't know where it come from.
Except except with the group called Maroon 5. They're called Maroon 5, not Maroon 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit odd that, isn't it?
It is very, very weird, very weird. Still can't. And I've been here 22 years. Still can't get used to it.
Here we have a couple of Poms that come over and tell us how to speak English. Oh, what a bloody joke.
See, they say pronunciation, they call it pronunciation.
Pronunciation.
Pronunciation. The thing is, it's the English language, and these are English people. They can't even speak English properly.
Oh, yeah. Not like you and I, Richard.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, oh God, yeah, talk about pronunciations or mispronunciations, you know. My two favourites were years ago. It was on I think it was a kids' nature show or geographical show. It was an afternoon thing anyway, and they had a sort of a youthful presenter on it, and he was talking about Yosemite National Park, and he was talking about the Mojave Desert in California, you know, instead of Yosemite and Mojave. But they're probably my two favourites, I think, you know, out of that. There's dozens of them, but those two